se1ep2.flv here with the exclusive one-on-one interview that I promised you earlier with the role model Rex Hart. How you doing, Rex?
As always, Rex Hart is doing awesome.
Good to hear. Let's get this thing started. So, Rex, why did you get started in pro wrestling anyway?
Well, I got started in pro wrestling because the mentality we have in Canada is we like to fight. We get in fights all the time. And I figured if I get to beat somebody up and get paid for it, hey, that's not a bad idea. So now, not only do I get to travel all over the world, but I get to beat people up and I get paid for it. I got the best of everything, baby.
How do you feel about pro wrestling in the United States?
Pro wrestling in the United States. Have you watched it on TV lately? Have you seen it from coast to coast?
I watch it all the time.
It has
part of my job,
no credibility whatsoever. The only thing that gives it a little bit of credibility is the Canadians coming down here to wrestle. I mean, you got guys like the Canadian Hit Squad. You got, of course, me, the role model, Rex Hart. You got a few other Harts I think you've heard about. I mean, there's plenty of other wrestlers out there that from Canada that come down here and make it something that you could actually watch.
Gary Hart, Jimmy Hart. Yeah, there are a few out there. What are some of your best memories in the NWWA?
Well,
going back to the 90s,
in the NWWA? Well, you know, being out on the road with the guys, traveling up and down the road, going, you know, from coast to coast, wrestling up in Canada. Yeah, some of them ain't too bad, you know. They pay for the hotel room, so, you know, I don't mind getting in the car with them and stuff. But just all the different types of matches, you know, the different type of people that they put me in the ring with that I get to beat the snot out of. You know, it's pretty much like today, you know. We get to go all over. We get to meet a ton of different people, and it's awesome, you know. I just, pretty much every memory that I have in NWWA has been great.
You know, you don't sound Canadian.
Well, I am Canadian. What, do we have like a certain way of talking up there?
No, that was a compliment.
How is that a compliment?
Well, I mean...
What do you want me to say? You know it's about me, eh? I mean, I could sit there and talk like that. Hey, you're a hoser, eh? Is that how you want me to be talking? Because we don't talk like we're idiots up there. I mean, we could go down south in America and y'all just got that little draw like you don't know what y'all doing down there. I mean, I could sit there and say that too, but I don't.
Well, you got me there, then. You guys down south there, a little slow as well.
As well? So you're comparing the Southerners of the United States who got their butts handed to them in a war about 100 years ago to the Canadians who have never, ever lost a war.
Okay. Well, speaking of kicking people's teeth in, or getting them kicked in, depending on which you prefer, what was your favorite match of all time, would you say?
My favorite match of all time? I'm thinking May 1999, when I took on Terry Funk in the Hammond Civic Center in front of thousands of people, and that old man, crippled as he was, came out to the ring, and I just beat the snot out of him over and over. He just kept getting up. I just hit him, he'd go back down. He just get up, I just hit him, he'd go back down again. But just to be in the ring with Terry Funk and to realize that I was, you know, basically making this man retire for the 7th time, that this was going to be in for him. This was it. And just because he came back, you know, a couple years later, that don't mean anything because I knocked him out of the business for like 2 years. But, you know, we wrestled all over that building and, you know, it was a little bit of an honor to be in there wrestling the Great Funkster, you know, and when that fan threw that banana peel in the ring and I slipped and fell and he was able to do his little moonsault thing on there and I couldn't get up, he got lucky because he was the bloody one, he bloody mess. I got up right afterwards, you know, I was all ready to go, but, you know, the ref cheated. We were in America, so it was a little bit iffy and stuff, but that's probably my favorite match.
Well, would you say that's why you have a little bit of bitterness towards those in the South? Because they like to throw banana peels in the
you know, they do that. They throw the beer bottles, you know, because in the South they don't have like garbage cans or anything. They just throw it out in their front yard. I mean, you've seen the whole thing. You might be a redneck. We get that up in Canada too. You know, where you got the people with their whole sofas and stuff out on the front lawn and their television sets. Well, I know y'all got that down there in the South now. That's what I've been told. So yeah, maybe I do have a little bit of problem with that.
I live in the South. I don't know about y'all, but so anyway, what does the future hold for the role model?
The future for me?
The future for you.
you know, I could use the old cliche, the future is so bright, I gotta wear shades, but you heard that 100,000 times.
Yes, thank you for not laying that one.
I am a champion in Illinois. I am a champion in Michigan. And it's only a matter of time before I become champion again in Indiana. So I'm basically just going to have so many belts. I have one to hold up my pants. You know, I have 2 for suspenders. My future is going to be awesome. Whoever they put me in there, and as soon as they get me in there with the electric one, Eric Freedom, I mean, it's obvious he's half my size. He's a little roly-poly guy, you know, and I got big guns and everything. It's just a matter of time before I become a 3-time champion. Who holds 3 belts at one time? I can't even think of anybody. I would just my future. Oh, it's just making me.
So how do you feel about Fruit Loops?
Fruit Loops is the most disgusting thing I have ever seen in my life. Why they are permitted at ringside? I have allergic reaction to cereal. Okay, because the sugar content in them, you know, kind of gets me a little bit. So every time he does that, and we're in the ring, he tries to put those Fruit Loops in my mouth, which should be illegal, by the way. And I think, you know, maybe you should talk to Mr. White and get, you know, the Fruit Loop thing taken out of there. I wouldn't have any problem with Eric Freedom.
You heard it here first. Canadians can't stand Fruit Loops. I'm Sly Madoff. And now we go back to Greg Hansen.
Folks, I want to tell you thank you very much for coming out and checking out our 2nd webisode. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce my partner in crime,
Sly Madoff. And next week, I will be interviewing the notorious Johnny Showtime. So, thank you for joining us here on
and WWA Pro Wrestling. Be sure to come back next week for more action-packed matches.
Damn, I'm great. I'm greater than great. Wait till these people get a load of me. I mean, seriously, Jim Ross ain't got jack on Sly. Dude, did you see that? You had to see that interview, huh?